Hello, everybody. My name is Tripti, and I am a software engineer and cybersecurity researcher at CyberForge Academy. Previously, I have done internship with Web3 Academy, which is a Singapore-based Web3 startup which is focused on Web3 education. There, I have explored the Web3 technologies and all. And today, our topic is Ethereum development. We'll be seeing multiple technologies that are required for Ethereum development. So, yeah, let's get started. So, so we'll be covering blockchain, we'll be covering Ethereum, then we'll see what smart contracts are, then what are the tools required for creating smart contract, deploying smart contract, then we'll be covering solidity, and at the end we'll be covering what this DApp means. So starting with the first thing. So blockchain. When we hear the word blockchain, we generally means that it's a chain. It's a chain of blocks, which means there are several blocks which are linked together. So what are these blocks? These blocks are distributed ledger with list of records or list of transactions that has ever happened on the network. They operate on peer-to-peer network, which means every node or every participant has a copy of entire ledger. Ledger basically means, just a minute, yeah. So this word ledger basically means it's a list of records or the transaction that has happened on the network. Now, once a transaction is recorded, it cannot be altered. It is stored in these ledgers. So you can see here, this is a chain of blocks. Every block has the hash in the previous one, which is linking them together. Now, now let's understand this better with an example. So suppose Ellen wants to send some money to Bob. He sent some money to Bob. The transaction happened. Now this transaction is represented online as a block. Now this block is broadcasted to all the network. Networks means all the participant in the blockchain that are there. This block has been broadcasted to them. Now, once this block is being broadcasted to them, they approve this transaction, and this new block has been added to the blockchain. And once this is added to the blockchain, our transaction is complete. So, this is a overview of how blockchain works. We'll understand it better with other examples. So, suppose this is one more example of the same thing. Suppose A wants to send money to B. So a transaction is requested and authenticated by the blockchain network, and this transaction has been represented by a block. This is the transaction. Now this block has been broadcasted to all the participants in the network. So the like this, these are the participants in the blockchain network. Now this new block or the new transaction that has happened is broadcasted to them. Now they verifies this new block. They validates this new block and the transaction. After this, what happened in most of the cases, these nodes get rewarded as a result of proof of work system, which means this is nothing. It's just they are validating the new block or the new transaction. Now, once they validate it, it added to the blockchain, and it is distributed among the network, and the transaction is successfully complete. So this is how blockchain network works. I hope it is clear. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comments, or we'll have a doubt clearing session at the end of this session. So now coming to Ethereum. Ethereum is nothing, it's just a decentralized blockchain platform which enable us to develop or execute DApps. DApps are decentralized application. So there are multiple components of it, like Ethereum blockchain, Ether. Ether is a cryptocurrency. Then we have smart contracts, then we have EVM, then consensus mechanism, then clients and nodes. We'll cover these one by one. We'll see what the use of these things. So let's understand it better with one more example. Suppose there are two persons, Alice and Bob. They don't trust each other, and they enter into a bet that tomorrow it is a rainy day. Suppose Alice say that tomorrow it is a rainy day, and Bob say no, tomorrow is a sunny day. Now, because they don't trust each other, they enter into bet and they bet off one Bitcoin. So yeah, let's take an example of this. So Ellis says that tomorrow it is rainy day, and they bet for one Bitcoin. Now Bob is saying that tomorrow is sunny day, and they agreed on one Bitcoin bet. So now they need one middleman to verify who wins and distribute the one Bitcoin money to them. So here we need a middleman who will verifies that who wins. So this middleman will distribute the winning prize or reward, you can say. But now in the case of Ethereum, what happens that this provides the features of smart contracts. Now, smart contracts are self-executing code which executes whenever the event trigger, and they like validate. There are some predefined code on the blockchain which validates which party wins. So there is in our case, suppose Ellis and Bob both agree on one agreement, which is which has some if and else condition, that if rainy day, then Ellis win, or if else it's not a rainy day, then Bob will win, and the transaction money will be sent accordingly. So this is a smart contract which executes automatically. So this is what Ethereum provides, and that is why Ethereum is getting most popular these days. Now, as we discussed smart contracts are digital protocols on blockchain which verifies, controls, or automate executing of this agreement based on some predefined set of rules. Now, there are three types of smart contracts. Like the very first is smart legal contract, then decentralized autonomous organization, then application logic contracts. The first one is like enforceable. This is legal obligation with some consequences. The next is like self-governing blockchain communities with some predefined coded rules. Then the third one is sync code that is responsible for cross-platform communication. So now, like we have already taken this example, suppose Ellis and Bob, there are two persons. Bob want to sell his house. Ellis want to buy that house. So they need some middleman to verify that this transaction has happened or not. So they will need lawyers, brokers, or insurance one. So to replace this, now we have smart contracts. Smart contracts are some code that is written on blockchain which have some predefined rule. Based on that rule, this transaction happened and stored on blockchain. So this replaces this middleman. Now we don't have to like rely on the third party. So let's understand it more better. So this is a seller, he wants to sell this asset, and this is a buyer, he wants to buy this asset. So they don't want to involve the third party. So what they did the transaction and agreed on one smart contract, which is nothing. It's a some predefined code on the blockchain. So they agreed on this smart contract, and whenever the transaction happened, whenever the event triggers, so this self-executing code executes, and if the conditions are met, the asset is being sold, otherwise it is cancelled. So this is how smart contracts work. Basically, it is nothing. It's just an agreement which is coded on blockchain, which is self-executing whenever the transaction or whenever the event is happening. It will execute itself, and whatever the conditions met, it work accordingly. So yeah. Okay. So for writing these smart contracts, for deploying these smart contracts, we need some tools. So these are the tools we will need further. So we will see what one by one what each does. So the very first is Node.js. I guess all of us will be familiar with Node.js because all of us are working on the development side. So Node.js is very popular language which is used for server side scripting. So it's also crucial in Ethereum blockchain application for server side logic. It provides integration of JavaScript with smart contracts. It also facilitates efficient communication between the front end and the Ethereum blockchain. Now, next we have MetaMask. MetaMask is nothing, it's just a cryptocurrency wallet for secure decentralized transaction. It recorded this transaction. So it's a seamless interaction with Ethereum blockchain and decentralized application. It provides a user-friendly interface and a browser extension to use. So you can check out this link and install it on your browser and use this. Next, we have Truffle. Truffle is a development framework for Ethereum blockchain application. We use Truffle for deploying, for compiling, and for all other stuffs. It automates testing and deployment and smart contract management as well. And it is very efficient and streamlined for decentralized application development. So you can go through this link and search more about Truffle. Now, next we have Ganache. Ganache is local blockchain emulator that is used for Ethereum development. So it provides testing and development environment for our Ethereum projects. It is very configurable. It has multiple configuration options for network simulation and contract testing. So we have seen these tools. So now let's set up the development environment for us. I hope it is visible. If not, please comment on the chat box. So for that, first we need to just like I am using WSL here. You can use Linux or WSL whatever you want. First we update the packages. Then we will install Node.js. For Node.js, I am using this curl command. Then apt get install Node.js. Yeah. So as we know that Node.js is very crucial for integrating JavaScript with our Ethereum development projects. So we'll be installing Node.js. Once Node.js installed, we'll check out its version to verify whether it is installed or not. So I'm using node hyphen hyphen version command for checking the version of Node.js. Then I'm using npm hyphen hyphen version command for checking the version of npm. Because we'll be using npm for installing Truffle and Ganache, that's why it is needed. So next we have Truffle to install. So we'll be using sudo. We have to give root privileges for this installation. So I'm writing sudo, then npm, then install, then hyphen g, which means to install this package globally. Then we are writing the package name Truffle. So once it is installed, you can check out it version by Truffle space hyphen hyphen version. So it will take some time to install. Yeah. So like here I have checked the version Truffle space hyphen hyphen version to check whether the Truffle is installed or not. You see, it already installed Solidity, Web3, Ganache, and Truffle. So now next we need Ganache. So we'll install sudo npm install hyphen g globally for installing it globally, then Ganache hyphen CLI. Now for running local blockchain, we'll be just typing Ganache hyphen CLI, then press enter and local blockchain will be running. So like here first we have checked the version of Ganache CLI. Then I have used Ganache hyphen CLI command to run our local blockchain. So you see our local blockchain is running now. when it run, it provide 10 accounts, 10 available accounts, which have some ethers to use for local development projects. To like, as we already discussed that this Ganasha help us in rapid testing, and it provide us a development environment. So it provide us 10 accounts which have some ether to test it on. So yeah, that's all for the setup. Yeah. So for next, as we have discussed that MetaMask is a cryptocurrency wallet which is used for which is used for the transaction in decentralized application. So when we are building decentralized application, when we have a user, so we want the user to do some transaction, and for that we use MetaMask. So when we are developing the application, we need to test it. So for that, we will be setting up MetaMask for with local blockchain. So it is useful when we are developing the DApps mainly, but it is very important to see how to set up this MetaMask with the local blockchain. So first you have to install the MetaMask extension. So this is how this appears. So when you installed it, this kind of interface will appear. So here you will see the account information. Here you will see the network information. So in the top left corner, we have to click for adding the network. So when you click on that, you will see multiple options like Ethereum mainnet, Linear mainnet, and there is a one option for add network. We have to click on add network. So once you click on add network, it will redirect to new page where you will have multiple options. Now you have to click on the option add a network manually because we are adding the local blockchain network. So click on add a network manually. Next, you have to provide these details: network name, new RPC URL, chain ID, currency symbol. So you can choose any network name of your own. Like here, I'm using local hyphen net. Then for RPC URL, what you have to do? You have to go to the terminal where you have run the local blockchain. So like here, you see it's listening on 127.0.0.1, which is localhost, and on port number 8545. So you have to put this URL in RPC URL. You have to use HTTP colon slash slash, then the localhost URL and the port number. Now for chain ID, you have to enter a command on terminal, which is this. You have to use curl x post data, then this parameter, and at the end you have to put the RPC URL, which is localhost and the port number where your Ganache local blockchain is running. So when you enter this, you will see in the result that this is the chain ID that you have to fill here. So in result, we got our chain ID, we copied it and paste it on the MetaMask. Now currency symbol is ETH. ETH represent Ether. So we'll be dealing with Ethers. Now once you save it, you'll get an option. You'll get a pop-up of like this. Now you have to click on switch to local net that you just have created. So you see that we have created a network on of our own that is set up with our local blockchain. Now we need some ethers to experiment with. For that, as I told you, that local blockchain provides you 10 accounts which have some ethers, so you can import that account. For importing that account, what you have to do? You have to go to this option accounts. Yeah. So these are the accounts I was talking about. So these are the accounts, these are the private key for that accounts. You have to click on account, then add account, then import account, then you can paste the private key of any of that account and click OK. So after this, you will get 10 ethers on your account and you are on the network which you have just set. So now you are ready to experiment with MetaMask. So that's how we set up MetaMask with our local blockchain. For installing that MetaMask extension, you can go through this link and install. Now comes Solidity. Now, what is Solidity? Solidity is high-level programming language that is used in smart contracts. Basically, smart contracts are written in Solidity. So it's the syntax of Solidity is moreover similar to JavaScript, and it is designed for smart contract development only. It supports multiple data types, functions, and control structure for Ethereum. So these are the data types Solidity support, like it supports array, functions, enum, address, string, integer. Many of them are similar to JavaScript, right? Now, how, like in every language when we learn, we start with Hello World program. So why not here? So this is Hello World program in Solidity. First, we need to put the license in comments, then Pragma Solidity version. So it is written for specifying the version of Solidity we'll be using in our smart contract. Then we'll write contract and the contract name. Like here we are using Hello World as our contract name. Contract is just, so yeah, be defined by the keyword contract. Then this is the contract name we will be using. It's just a combination of functions and data we are using in our contract. Then we have a function, say hello world, which returns string, and the string is hello world. So that's how we write hello world program in Solidity. Now let's see how we can write this program and how we can compile it and deploy it on our system. So for that, I'm using WSL. Yeah, I hope it is visible. If not, please tell me. Yeah, I've zoomed it out. Okay. So we'll create a new directory first, or before that, we can check the truffle version. So we'll be using truffle for compilation and deployment of our project or smart contract. So it should be installed. Then we'll create Hello World project. For that, first we create a folder, then we move inside the folder, then we'll run the command truffle init. It will basically creates the whole structure of your project. So we'll use truffle init. So yeah, your project has been created. You can check that out in the VS Code. You see the folders has been created for contract, for migration, for testing, and there is one file truffle config.js. So we'll be changing in these files. First, let's write our smart contract. So I'm providing the name hello world dot sol. Dot sol is used for Solidity. This is the extension for saving the Solidity file or the smart contract file. So yeah, let's. So this is our hello world program that is written in Solidity. Now, what we need to change, we need to set this project to work with our local blockchain. For that, you can move to truffleconfig.js. Then, in network section, there is a commented out code, which is this. You just need to uncomment this code. Now, here the host is 127.0.1 and the port is 8545, and only on this your local blockchain is running. You can confirm this by running. Okay, first we need to make sure that your blockchain is running. So for that I have used Kanache-CLI. You see, blockchain is running on 127.0.0.1 on port number 8545. So this is the same thing you have to write here. It is already written. Then the network ID is star, which means any network. Save this. Also make sure to decrease the version of Solc. Sometimes it creates some issues with the version of Truffle. That's why we decrease the degrade the version of Solc. Now once it is done, you can go to terminal. Yeah, always make sure that your local blockchain is running, then you are compiling and deploying your smart contract. So we'll use truffle compile for compiling the smart contract. So you see it's compiled successfully. Now we want to deploy this smart contract. For deploying, first we need to create a file which is named as one underscore contract underscore migration dot js. So what we need to do it here, we need to first give the smart contract path. I have used artifacts.required, then I have given the contract name that I have, it is same. Like here I have used hello world.sol for smart contract name, and same here. Next, this file is basically for deploying your smart contract. So you have defined that we need to deploy this file. Now next we need to write truffle migrate. Truffle migrate command is used for deploying your smart contract. So enter. Now it first compiles your contract, then it deploys. So it take few seconds. So yeah, please wait for that. Also, for your information, Truffle provides a development environment. It also provides the local blockchain environment inside this. So I'll show you that also. So you see, once the smart contract is deployed, it provides you the contract address, transaction hash, and other things, which means that our smart contract has deployed successfully. We have created a contract, hello world contract, we have compiled it, we have deployed it. So you can see the total cost, it costs some ethers and it done. So this is how we deploy our first smart contract. Now next, moving to, we have already seen how to create. Now how to interact with the these contracts, how to interact when you are dealing with front end and back end. You interact back end with front end, right? So here also we interact with smart contract using some scripts. So we will see how to write that scripts. For that, make sure your blockchain is running because we'll be using there too. So I have already coded that part. Okay, so for interacting with your smart contract, first you need some kind of read and write operation. So here I have defined one smart contract which stored numbers. So let's see what it is doing. All the steps that we have done for the hello world smart contract are same here. First we need to create the directory, then we need to do tuple init for creating the structure, then we need to define this smart contract. Here first we define the license and comments, then we provide pragma solidity version which specifies which version of solidity you are using in your smart contract. Then with the keyword smart contract, we define our smart contract which is number storage. Here I have used a variable which is stored number. Then I have two functions here. One is set number, other is get number. Set number means whatever the number is coming, you need to store this in stored number. In get number, you have to return that stored number. So this is a simple one of reading and writing operation in smart contracts. Now for this, again in truffle config.js, we have uncomment the development settings and decrease the solcy version. Then we have created a migration.js in which we have coded that this is my smart contract and this is what I want to deploy. Next, what change here? Let's first deploy this file, then see what we need to code for interacting with it, right? So we will use truffle migrate. Like we used in previous project, truffle migrate is for deploying the smart contract. So here also it is first compiling the project, then it will deploy the project using this file one underscore contract underscore migration.js. So it will take some time to deploy. So you can check here as well in the logs of your local blockchain that some sort of transaction has been happened, which means contract has been created. It's for the previous one that we have done for the Hello World program, right? So here also you see that our contract has been deployed successfully. We have got the contract address and transaction hash and other details. So we just need contract address now for interacting with it. So yeah. So I'll explain you. We are using a Web3 package, Web3 library. So we are using a Web3 library to interact with our smart contract. So then we are specifying on which blockchain our smart contract is running. Then we are providing the contract address. Now what is this ABI? ABI is a bytecode which is which comes when you build your when you deploy your smart contracts. It comes here in build folder. You'll see number storage.json. It is basically what's your smart contract. So my smart contract is number storage. That's why it is giving me name number storage.json. And in this file there is a key ABI. So we need to copy this ABI and paste it in our interact.js. Why we need it, we'll understand it in the later code. So here, first we are defining that web3.eth.contract. This is my ABI key and this is my contract address. Now we have defined a function which is actually interacting with your smart contract. So in main function, we have first a function which is number storage dot methods dot get number, which is checking what number it has previously. So it is printing the stored number, which means the number that is in the smart contract already. So it is printing the stored number, the last number which is stored. Then we have a set number method which is setting 70 to this contract address. Basically we use dot send method to sending to one contract address. Then we have specified this gas and gas price, and then we are printing transaction hash to verify whether the transaction has happened or not. And at last we are again getting the number for checking whether the number is stored or not. So for running it, what we need to do, we need to type node then interact.js. Okay, so it gives an error. Okay, sender account not recognized because we need to change the sender account from our list of accounts that we have got on running our local Ganache. So you see, I have to replace my sender account from any of these accounts because these accounts change every time when you run the blockchain. So copy any one of them, paste it here. Yeah. Now again interact. So we see that our previously stored number is 0, our transaction hash is this, which means our transaction has successfully happened, and now our stored number is 70, which we have just passed. So let's change the number and again pass it. So I am putting 80 now, then I'm saving it. Now again I'm interacting with my smart contract, and now see, our stored number is 70, which is my last number which I have stored. Next, my transaction has this printed, which means our transaction has successfully happened. Now, which number is currently stored? 80, because we have passed it. So that's how we interact with our smart contracts. So till now we have covered how to create smart contract, write smart contract, how to compile them, how to deploy them, and how to interact with them. Next, as we have previously listened this word DApps. What are these DApps? DApps are decentralized application that operates on blockchain networks, which enable peer-to-peer interaction without a central authority. So it works on three things basically. One, we need smart contract. Then we need one blockchain network. Then we need user interaction. User interaction is basically user interface by which DApp your user will access the DApp, decentralized application. So smart contract, we have already covered that it's a self-executing code which automates the transaction and agreement part. Next, we have blockchain network, which provide decentralized ledger, which records all the transactions securely. Next, for user interaction, how will the user get access to these applications? So for that, we use DApps. Basically, it provides an interface or it interact with your smart contracts. So let's understand this whole architecture first. So what happens in DApp? The user access to browser. Then there is some front end application which is running, which is coded by HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, any of this language. Now this front end will interact with Ethereum blockchain, and in Ethereum blockchain we have EVM, which are responsible for running the logic that is written on smart contract. So smart contract are the one which are doing all the agreement stuff, all the transaction part, and who are responsible for running that EVM, and it is all running on Ethereum blockchain, and our front end is interacting with Ethereum blockchain, and this is whole architecture, this is whole how decentralized application works. So yeah, that's all for today. I hope you got some idea of how blockchain works. So we conduct these kinds of meetup regularly. So make sure you have joined our meetup group and you have joined our WhatsApp channel for regular updates.